4 ensures that each state respects the laws and court decisions of other states. Go ahead.
Section 1 of Article.
Let's do that again. Go ahead.
Section 1 of Article 4, known as the full faith and credit card state.
Full faith and credit shall be given in each state to the public acts, records, and judicial proceedings.
Stop right there. That was a lot. Did anybody understand what that said?
Yeah.
No, not exactly. That's why I had you continue reading. Let's go ahead and bring it back. So federalism is highlighted in Article 4 of the U.S. Constitution. What is that? So that means that federalism is explained in this section. So I'm going to go ahead and underline federalism, and I'm going to go ahead and circle Article 4 of the U.S. Constitution. This is where it's located. There, it is located there. So if it's located there, I know, based on everything we've learned, that they're going to explain what federalism is there. So again, definition and explanation is located here. Definition and explanation of federalism is located here. Article 4 ensures that each state respects the laws and court decision of other states. What does that mean? Raise your hand, raise your hand. What does that mean? That each state respects the laws and court decisions of other states. What does that mean? Milagro.
That all states have to respect each other.
Each other? Okay, why would I want to, okay, how am I respecting them? Their laws, right? So if I'm in Arizona, should I respect the laws of New York? Yes, I'm supposed to respect their laws and their court decisions, right? If I don't respect their laws and court decisions, right? What happens, ABL? If I'm in Arizona and I'm not respecting the laws of New York, what is the potential thing that can happen? I can get in trouble. What else does that cause? Think about everything we've talked about. Let me get some other voices in the space. What else does that cause? Kendall. If I'm in Arizona, Dontrell, and there's laws in New York, right? Besides getting in trouble, what else is that going to cause? Think about the greater picture, Brian.
It could cause a problem between both states.
It caused a problem, and we're supposed to be United States, right? Is that gonna unite us as a country? No, it's gonna cause division. Do we understand?
Yeah.
Which goes back to again the preamble. So we're there. So we gotta follow the Constitution. So Section 1 of Article 4, known as the full faith and credit clause, says full faith and credit shall be given in each state to public acts, records, and judicial proceedings. So again, we're gonna follow the public acts, the records, and the judicial proceedings. That essentially is the same thing as court decisions. So I'm essentially to each state respects other laws of states. Hashtag, what is the goal of United States? What is the goal? Unity, to respect unity. Each state respects other laws of other states. Each state respects the laws of other states. I have about 3 more minutes and then I'm going to move on before you're released to do it on your own. We're going to go back to reading. I'm going to read one line and you're going to read the second line. Let's look at the example they give. For example, if a couple is married in one state, their marriage is recognized in all states. Does everyone understand that?
Yeah.
That's just an example. ABL, what do you need? All right, make it quick. Go ahead and you guys are reading the next line. Article 5. Let's bring it back. Bring it. So if we're struggling, we're gonna pivot. Kimani, since you're focusing on first, Kimani, go ahead and read for me, please.
Article 5 establishes that. Article 5 establishes the
Supremacy
clause, or that federal laws are supreme if there is a conflict between states or state and federal law.
Stop right there. Take a moment and tell me what that means. take a moment and read it again and tell me what that means. For someone, I'm gonna go ahead and pick on someone really quick. Josh, what does that mean? What is that line about supremacy clause? What does that mean? Can you translate that for me in simple terms? Josh, you got a dog tag. That means you know what you need to do. So we're gonna come back. Lyric, what does that mean? I see you, Dante. If Lyric doesn't have it, I'll pull on you.
I think,
Give me a second, Dante. I gave people an order. Do you want me to come back to you, Lyric? And I need my answer. So, Dante, you raise your hand as a volunteer. What does that mean?
I'm gonna take an educated guess and say that whatever state that you're in, you should respect the laws of other states, whether there should be no conflict between it.
So, the supremacy clause, I circled that because it's important, supremacy. So what does supreme mean? Can someone raise their hand? What does it mean? Janisha, what does it mean? Supreme. When you hear supreme, Supreme Court. So the highest. So this is supremacy clause, right? So it says that, or that federal laws are supreme. Federal laws are supreme. Federal is what? Federal. What level of government is federal?
Supreme.
The highest. National, right? So national laws are supreme. So national laws are the highest. If there's a conflict between two states, state or local, federal is always gonna win. Does everyone understand? Yeah. So if there's a state law, can a state law conflict with federal law? No. So make sure that you understand that. So that federal laws are supreme if there's a conflict between states. So if there's a problem between Georgia and Texas, what are we gonna follow? Whose law are we following?
the national.
The national government. So again, national law trumps state laws.
Isn't it conflict mean problem?
Yes, conflict means problem. If there is a conflict, if there is a conflict.
You said Trump?
Yes, Trump means it overpowers. It's more important if there's state law. So, together these provisions define the principles of federalism by ensuring cooperation. What's another word for cooperation?
Agreement?
Cooperation. Cooperate?
Collaboration.
Great job, collaboration. So, federalism ensures cooperation between the levels of government and by respecting the power. Go ahead and circle the word sovereignty. Sovereignty is the power and independence of each state. Go to the bathroom. So far, can someone summarize what have we learned before I release it to you? You're gonna read again the next paragraph for the partner. What have we learned so far? Go ahead, what have we reviewed? Okay. Where do we, what do we have? Yep, the levels of government. How many levels of government do we have? 3. Could someone name it to me? Yes. How many levels of government do we have?
3.
What level? How many governments do we have? And how many? What name them? Federal is considered the what? What's another word for the highest? So the supreme. And where can we find out the division of power in the Constitution? Where does it explain how the powers are divided? Where does it explain how the powers are divided? I'm gonna give again. Malago, put it down. Where does it explain, Ronnie, how the powers are divided? Where does it explain federalism in the Constitution? where does it explain what, Ronnie, where does it explain the levels of government in the Constitution? We'll give you a second. Give Ronnie a second.
Why do you think boys are all?
I don't know you.
If Ronnie doesn't answer, may I answer?
Brian, can you support him? Where does it explain what federalism is in the Constitution? And where did you find that? What paragraph? And what line? The first sentence? Do you see it? That's where it is. And where's your note for that? So yeah, go ahead and put that in there. And what is federalism all about? We know it divides power, but what does the Supremacy Clause tell us? I need a hand. What is the, summarize what the Supremacy Clause tells us in your own words, Janae. They make sure that each state respects the other state. Aiden, why would we want states to respect each other's laws?
Because if they don't respect each other's laws, then it's going to cause a conflict between those two states.
Awesome. What example did they give of states respecting other states? What example did they give, Chrisette, of states respecting other states? What example did the reading give? ABL helper?
A couple is married in one state. Their marriage is recognized in all states.
Oh, great job, great job. So, what we're gonna go ahead and do, instead of, for the sake of time, I want you to go ahead and work with the person next to you. You're gonna be reading the next two paragraphs. You're gonna be reading the next two paragraphs. And what I want you to look for, is I want you to gist the powers that are given to the federal and state governments. Lyric, what do I want you to gist? The state and what else? The federal government. Go ahead, I'm gonna go ahead and give you 4 minutes. Go ahead and get started. Dante, sit up. Dante, sit up. If you're working independently, I need you to go ahead and gist the powers of the federal government.
She just got up, so great.